All right, how's it going, YouTube? So we're gonna bring you a recap of over Sunday's testing tune and update. Hopefully it fits all in one video. So let's go ahead and get down to this. All right, YouTube. So this is what it is, how it looks. So I did crash the car. Now, I guess I don't know if it lost traction in the big end or what, and I didn't get it on video. So what happened was the car lost. What I think happened was the right tire came unglued. That's just what I think. It came unglued and threw the car to the right, and the car ended up taking out the rear arm and broke. So I wasn't able to test anymore that day. But this is what I did get. I got a 191 at 66. So I literally had no timing in it. Probably had like 10 degrees of timing, if that. And then I just was working on boost on the front half to get down. So after I got down, I started with a 2 something and kept working my way down. Once I got to the 191, I tried to go a little. I actually backed the 191 up and tried to go a little faster, and that's when I broke traction. So it's a learning process, because I'm guessing with the foam tires you need a certain amount of prep to carry out. So I did get the 191, and I was on auto throttle listening to Benji. Benji's like, just try it. And I tried it. It was smoother, but I think I could still work at it with the tune that I have. So I will be trying that again some more. I will need to be trying it at like a clean location. That would work best. So after noticing that, after breaking the car or whatever, earlier that week before running the test session, I noticed something else. So remember, I used to run a 10,000 pinky. I end up going to this battery, which works great, but I lost weight. This battery is like 454 grams, and my 10,000 pinky is like 500 and something grams. So I had no bumper on this car, and I had no weights. So I had to add these 2 weights and this bumper in order to bring my weight back where it should be. Because what I was noticing in one of the videos of the race before the test session is that when I put the camera on the floor, I noticed the whole car lift up in the air. So ever since I made that change, I wasn't able to go faster than like a 159. And I'm assuming that's because of the weight distribution. If I was to give it more point or any more dot in the ESC, the car would just lift up. It wouldn't hold. So that would throw the car off. So by me correcting the weight distribution, it should help now. But I already switched to foams. So I'm trying it on foams and just something different. But I noticed that the weight distribution did play a big part. So we'll chase it back down and see what we could get. Now that I had this on testing the last time out, so I noticed that the car was holding the front of the nose down, so which was a good thing. That's why I did all that. So yeah, we're still gonna test on foam tires. I need to get some new front tires. So the ones I had up here, they were aluminum and they bent. I bent 2 of them and I used the backup one. So literally got to get new tires. Well, this one's good. This one wobbles a little bit. So anyway, let's get this off the bench. We'll go to the E-Slide. I'll show you what happened to the E-Slide that day and then go from there. All right, YouTube. So as far as the E-Slide, we had a few issues with it that day. So we was running on the rubber tires. I did manage. I started messing with gearing. So I was at a 20 or 21. Then I went down to, I'll get to why the motor's not in here. Then I end up working it down to 20 or 19. Started with a 21 pinion, went down to a 19 and noticed the same speed. So what I did was I went into the ESC and took the timing out. Right? And I noticed the car was still running around the same speeds with the gearing that I had up there before. So I said, you know what? Talking, messing around, somebody was like, just try going up on gearing. And I actually went up higher than they said, And I end up running, on the rubber tires, I end up running a 212 at 74. So that wasn't bad. That's like my personal best as of right now in the East Side class. So while we was messing around that day, a couple people was breaking, and we was just like, you know what? Let's throw some foams on them and see what we could do, right? So now they throw foams on, you got a lot more grip. So I start to up my point a lot more. And now what happened was, by it being so grippy and me running Mod 1, the Mod 1 had, I had Mod 1 gearing, which is heavier, and I had a adapter. So for a 3.5 shaft, that's a lot of weight. And then now you're turning the car up to hit harder. So it's going to go to the weakest link, which was the shaft. Snap the shaft. So now I got to get a new motor. And I went back to 48 pitch gearing. So what I'm going to do now is I just got to buy some spur gears. I mean some pinions that's going to make it work, because I'm trying to go back to the same FDR I just had getting the 74, even though mile an hour isn't everything. The fastest time right now in this class, I believe, is a 206 on the tree or a 204, but it's at like 70 miles an hour. So granted, you need mile an hour, but it's all how you tune and you play with it. But 212 at 74, and then I believe I went 214 on the foam tires before the shaft snap. So I was getting there, but anyway, now what we are working on is getting a new shaft and then trying to find my FDR that I just had. So I don't know if I doubt they sell shafts for this, so I just have to order a new motor. Should be like $40. That's not the bad part. That's not the bad part about it. Bad part is waiting. All right, y'all. So I got a few other cars I want to talk about, which is like my nitros and stuff that I mess with on. I want to go through those as well. Give an update on those. But as far as the East Side, that's all I need is the motor and some gearing, and we should be right back. I'm gonna throw the rubber tires up there. Hopefully we could get one more race in. If any 60s and better, we'll hopefully have another event or even a testing tool, so to end the season off. So we'll see. I definitely want to switch to the 48 pitch and then get some testing and to see where I'm at with it with that gearing. So anyway, y'all stay tuned. Let me get the other cars on the bench. All right, YouTube, this car has many different bodies, but this is the 18 SS. And we did a few different things to it. I tried to turn this tank around. Shout out to March. He was telling me how, but I'm still somehow pinching in here. Not sure why. But last time out with this car, for one, I was having a brake issue. My brake pad was very thin. I just replaced it with another one that I'll explain all that. So I put the bigger one in here. My issue with this car was, for one, I didn't notice until literally right now when I was just trying to switch the tank around. I opened up my carburetor and I was pretty much getting like a little bit more than half throttle on my throttle. So I wasn't even running at full throttle. So now that's something else I got to work on. For two, the car, to me, with this one, was overheating. It kept saying 220, 240. At one point in time, I was up to 300 with the Subaru body on. And when Sammy came, I started to use his heat gun. Not his heat gun. You know, there's the thermometer, if you want to call it that. I started to use that, and I noticed his was saying 170, 180, the highest. So I didn't know what to believe. I didn't know which way to tune. I'm used to using this one, and this one is normally giving me the 180. So I figured it was because of the body was on. So I took the body up, changed the body. We tried it again. The temperatures did drop on this, but it was still high in the like 220s. And this motor usually runs around here like at 180, 190 the most. So I was just kind of thrown off. But then I remembered I did change the gearing. I put taller gearing on here. So I'm thinking maybe that's why as well. That's, the motor has to work harder to push that gear in. So what I did now, the next test session would be is I switched the brake and I went back to my 41, 45 gear and I had 39, 43. So we want to test the temps on that and see what this heat gun give me. And I believe I have another one as well I'll bring out with me to test that as well. So yeah, that's as much with the 18SS besides me doing the little tighten up I told y'all I did with the rear hub, the clutch bell, even the flywheel, all of that. The only thing I didn't get to do was turn this tank around. Now I did test this tank and it's holding pressure, so I know it's not this leaking. So it's something else on this car that is going odd, especially when I hold the car up like this. The fuel is in the front, so it's definitely not missing fuel, and it would start missing. Idling up as if the car is running lean. So I did have a screw here that was leaking. I fixed that. I might have to test the carb or check out, see if I have another leak somewhere. The bearings is fresh, so I know I'm not leaking there. But we'll try it this weekend and see what happens. So stay tuned for that. We'll go ahead and get the big block up here. All right, YouTube. So let's get to the big block RS4 and tell you the trouble I was having that day with it. So for one, I had a bigger brake pad in here. I put the one in the other RS4 that's thin, as you can see. I even had to put an adapter here to keep it away from the flywheel because, this is not made for a big block. So my problem was that day, every time I hit the brake pad, since it was so thick, and I moved it in because I changed this gear into a 37. It's at a 37, 41, and I was running a 39, 43. So I had to push the motor in more. So it brought the flywheel and the brake pad in closer to each other. So every time I hit the brake, the brake pad would move forward and stop the flywheel from spinning, causing the motor to shut off. So as soon as I brought the car out, I noticed that. So I got a video of it, but it was just the car kept shutting off, so I didn't even want to bother with it. So I ended up putting it away. So right now what I did was I put the small pad in here and hoping that should help for now. But I do see another brake pad that I'm going to get that's a thin one compared to the one that I had in here. That should still help. So for now, we'll run it with this just to make sure it works, because remember, I wanted to try this gearing with the diff gearing to see if I could break 60. So this weekend, hopefully we could try that and break 60 with this. So we'll see. But other than that, that was the only issue I was having. Maybe I need to play with the gear, the two speed, because it is adjusting a little bit different now because the gearing is taller. But yeah, that's all something to mess with. So stay tuned for that. That's going to come out this weekend. We're definitely going to mess with the big block and try to break the 60. Remember, the last time out, I think I hit 58 or 59, and I couldn't stretch. So now that I'm geared up, I'm hoping to hit 60. So stay tuned. And what we did so far, just a little recap, is we went to the 18SS gears in here. Front and rear. That would give you more top end for the RS4. And we're just playing with gearing at this point to break 60. Sammy, on his big block, he did change the pulley gears, and his is hitting 83 right now. I definitely got to record it and show y'all, so stay tuned for that one as well. And let me just run the Mugen by y'all. All right, y'all, this is the Mugen MTX4. So only thing I'm waiting on this is the bearing. I blew the bearing. It comes in today, actually, so I'll have this car up and ready for the weekend. Also, another problem I'm having is I need to soften the suspension on this car, because when I was racing with Sammy, doing turns and stuff, this car was acting a little stiff on the corners. And another thing is, I have a lot of weight up front as well with this battery. I need to order a battery to sit in the tray to make the car more bottom heavy and then instead of top heavy. So that's another thing I have to do to this. So we're just waiting on the bearing, and I need to order a battery that's going to fit in the tray. I actually seen one. I'm going to order it today for this, but we'll still be running it this weekend with this battery, but hopefully the next time out, everything will be ready with this car. So we'll still be running it this weekend, so stay tuned for that. And the MT, let me show y'all about that. Alright, YouTube, this is the MT, HPI RS4 MT. Filthy, oh yes, filthy. Well, it was a blast running this truck. For one, I want to turn it into 2-speed. I'm missing a few things. All the stuff over here you see is for this car. It's gears that I want to try and stuff that I want to. So I have the shaft, I have everything. I'm just missing like a coupling, a few things to actually make it into a 2-speed. I have the clutch bell, everything is ready. And now, as far as that day, what I was struggling with was my dog bone up here kept popping out and the tires kept coming unglued. So I fixed that. I ordered a few dog bones, they end up being wrong. So now I'm waiting on one more that I know is right. But I put the dog bone that kept popping out in the front and the back since the wheels don't turn, and I meshed it in there right. So hopefully everything go good with that. But that was pretty much all that was happening with this car that day. Was the dog bone kept popping out and the tires kept coming unglued. So now another thing is I wanted to put the 3.0 in here or in the 18 SS because I didn't want to always have to run the 18 SS. Now I did get it repinched by Sammy. Sammy said I believe the sleeve looked like it had like a funny mark on it. So and you know, just anyway, that is the 3.0. It is repinched and it has so much pinch that I can't even use the bump box to turn it over. So I'm gonna try to bring it out this weekend with me. Me and Sammy, I'm gonna put like a tank here and run the lines and try to start this motor, heat it up and try to get it running and break it in so we could eventually even run it in here when I go 2-speed or run it in the 18 SS one. So that's the plan. And I also have another 12. I have a few other motors, but I have another 12 like this that is also was repinched that I need to break in, but I don't have any more back plates. So when I change out a motor, I'll put the back plate on that. But you've seen the video of the MT. It did run good. Shout out to Sammy. I got this pretty much a brand new car. Let me just show you the bottom. Everything is mint on here. I got it with no motor. I got it as a roller, so I just threw the 12 in there that I had. But I think it could use a better motor. Sammy does have one of these too, but I think his has a big block in it. But yeah, it would be good to see them running either way. But yeah, this is my little off-road nitro. I'll probably be bringing this with me all the time because it's got great pinch and it always starts and runs. So that's a good thing. And once we work out the little tweaks, whatever we have, we'll get that fixed. But anyway, we should be wrapping this video up. I have a few more cars that I would like to update about, but we'll probably make that in another video. This one was already long enough. And I wanted to do Garage Wars this weekend, but I'm not too sure yet. Not too sure. We'll see how it goes. So y'all stay tuned for some running videos with Sammy this weekend and some testing. Stay tuned.